Natasha, good afternoon. We still don't know who the target was. I thought that I had asked the question as succinctly, as briefly as I possibly could to the presiding officers. Unfortunately, the response that came, from there was actually no response. The chairperson of the National Council of Provinces had tried to respond to it, but as I sit here, myself and I think the other journalists that were there at that media briefing would not be able to tell you, to point out, to say, well, this was the response that was given. And I think, Natasha, that was the general mood that we got from the presiding officers, and as journalists, we all walked out of that press conference after an hour and a half, and we asked ourselves, but what just happened? Because we could hear the presiding officers speak, but most of the questions, very direct questions, posed to them were not answered at all. Natasha.
So, Lukhanyo, as you say, a press briefing for over an hour and you hardly got much of a response. Have they actually specified who the security personnel were and the implications thereof?
Natasha, what we know is that there is now an investigation that Parliament has, or at least the presiding officers have called for. That investigation is currently underway as to exactly who the people were that were called into the National Assembly chamber on Thursday night, and who then forcibly removed members of Parliament. As you would know, the space of the National Assembly is very sacred, if I can call it that. It's space that only reserved for members of Parliament. And the Speaker, her deputy, the chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Thandi Modise, and her deputy, none of them could actually say that, well, these were the people that were called in and we know who they are and that we will be taking steps. Instead, what they tried to do was try to deflect many of the questions that were posed to them. And as we talk, we still do not know what that report entails, and or at least the investigation, what that entails into the events of Thursday night. Natasha?
And Parliament's reaction to media now taking this to the courts?
The chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Thandi Modise, she did say that, look, it's not necessarily something that they welcome, but I mean, they won't stand in the way of South Africans. In this case, the South African National Editors Forum going to court and challenging the issue of a scrambling device being used in Parliament. She did say that they won't stand in the way of that, but she didn't respond as to whether or not they will oppose that application. Natasha.
All right, Lukhanyo, thank you very much. Lukhanyo Calata live from our parliamentary studios, and we will, of course, be broadcasting that debate live on SABC's 24-hour news channel 404 from 2 o'clock this afternoon.